Another busy weekend in the Premier League, and it all kicked off, of course, all over England as European objectives and, of course, relegation scrappers trying to make it happen. But we have Janusz Michallik in the house. And let's begin with Tom Hamilton talking to us from lively Stamford Bridge. I guess I would say 4 goals in it as Chelsea draw 2-2 with those tricky trees, Tom Hamilton. Nottingham Forest, give me your initial reaction from the game.
It was nervy. It was really nervy overall. I think first half, Forest were the better of the two teams, no doubt. One took his goal really well. A lot of booing at half-time from the Chelsea fans as well, but you could see it before the game. Like, all the Forest staff are just in front of me here at Stamford Bridge, and they're all watching the Leeds Newcastle game, seeing on what's going there. So you had the players warming up behind them, and then the staff kind of half ignoring them, half kind of keeping an eye on them, making sure they're behaving while they're seeing what's going on elsewhere. So that's where we are at this point in the season. Well, for Chelsea fans, I mean, they're comfortably mid-table. They're not going to be in Europe, and on a day where they were marking 25 years since they won the Cup Winners' Cup, that great Janusz side, it's sort of a sign of where this club is at the moment. Like, they've got all these reminders of their brilliant past and absolute club legends, but this season has just been so mediocre. And had Raheem Sterling today, he was the best player on the pitch, and his goals were really well taken. But again, it's the fans are restless here, and it's a thankless job for Frank Lampard. Watching him, he clearly cares so much about the club, but it was a strange old match. I think Forest would be the happier. Their fans were extremely loud throughout. Really good presence here, and they'll be happy with the points. They defended brilliantly at the end. Chelsea had a couple of decent chances, but Chelsea looked so frustrated throughout and very disorganised at times and just disjointed. But definitely Forest to be the happier of the two.
Yeah, disjointed indeed, 2-2. And of course, as you mentioned, Tom, that's 11th, stays there for Chelsea. So we can forget about that season for a second. Although you mentioned Raheem Sterling, first time scoring for the first time in 2 months. I'm sure he's happy. But Janusz Michallik, the other storyline here is surely Nottingham Forest. I mean, this is a valuable point as well, because Taiwo Awoniyi scored a brace as well, and this point away from home, because City Ground is obviously a very big fortress for them, Janusz. This is a very big point for Nottingham Forest, no?
It's massive, yeah. I was thinking what to say about Chelsea here. Tom put it brilliantly, really, because there's not much you can say about Chelsea. I mean, anybody can come to Stamford Bridge or anywhere else and beat or draw against Chelsea. I mean, this is how bad the season has been. Let's not kid around here. I mean, we can talk about Raheem Sterling. That's good for him personally. In terms of Chelsea, I mean, there was nothing in there. I mean, I was just watching that game, and it could have been any team, and not the magical Chelsea here drawing. But for Forest, it's a massive point. Taiwo Awoniyi, former Union Berlin player, Union Berlin, and
that's right. Yeah,
obviously. Quietly, my team that I pay attention to. I think they were winning against Freiburg today as well. So good for him. I think, if you look at Steve Cooper, I mean, look, it's more about Nottingham Forest than it is about Chelsea. This is where we are. Let's be honest here, because as good as Sterling was, obviously scoring 2 goals, Enzo Fernandez, the only other player that I could speak about, maybe Trevor Chalobah, to a degree on that right-hand side, who's played well. I mean, such a non-story. Here we are talking about Chelsea, and Frank Lampard, who I don't know if he can coach in this league, really. I mean, we may never see Frank Lampard managing a Premier League team again.
Yep. Yeah, I'm so glad you said it, Janusz, because our producers was like, let's begin with Chelsea and Forest. Tom's at Stamford Bridge, and I'm like, why? I'm so done with Chelsea, Tom Hamilton. Just we paid,
it's not even us trying to put a boot into Chelsea. I mean, it's been a terrible season, really.
Yeah,
forget the points. I mean, the way they play, it's just really not nice to watch for sure.
No, absolutely. So, Tom, let's wrap with you there, because obviously you want to get home as well. And I know the area of Stamford Bridge very well. You can maybe walk towards Fulham and have a nice little pint somewhere at a local bar, maybe. But let's focus and let's wrap up on Chelsea to what Janusz's point is, because this is really a season to forget. Mauricio Pochettino is obviously the reported manager that will take over. There's talks as well. Our very own James Ollie talking about that Neymar Jr. was perhaps in the conversation as well. So what's going to happen? What's the sentiment as well from Chelsea fans? What do they expect this summer? Because $600 million were spent this season for them to end 11th. So what's going on?
It's really interesting. I think if you look at the subs today, got the team sheet here. You've got Pulisic, you've got Mudryk, Ziyech, Havertz, and Wesley Fofana. This is these sort of players. I mean, that's hundreds of millions of pounds worth of players there. And at this stage of the season, do you really think they'd be rotating? I mean, everyone here expects them to be in the title race, but instead it's just a chance. Today we saw Lewis Hall playing at left back with both first choice left backs injured. So I think what this team needs is stability now. And in the piece, which they're hacking through at the moment, I've just filed. I don't think that's going to come anytime soon. In that, but before the game today, both ends of the ground were paying tribute to Thiago Silva. Now he's been linked with a move away this week. I think you're going to see a lot more change before they get the familiarity and the stability which they desperately want here. And I think if Pochettino does come in, which sounds like he's by a long way the clear favourite and the chosen man, that's going to be his first challenge, is to bring this group of players, probably, change the group also and make sure, move some players on, work with a smaller group. They need stability and they need to find a striker. They have to find a striker to finish off these opportunities, because at the moment they look lost when they get to the penalty box. They're looking to cut the ball back and there's no one there. That's the number one. So get Pochettino, buy a striker, make the squad a little smaller.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.